What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Yesterday, besides one thing, it was a pretty great day in basketball, at least for me, because seeing the Cavs and the Warriors lose, it was a fun time. The Celtics lost to the Raptors, very interesting there, but of course, it couldn't be without some unfortunate events, and that included the very unfortunate injury to Kristaps Porzingis last night. We found out real quick, Kristaps Porzingis, for those who don't know, tore his ACL, and I believe this is the first ACL injury of this year. I mean, we've had our fair share of injuries, good players getting injured for the whole season, like DeMarcus Cousins and Kawhi Leonard, even though Kawhi Leonard, we don't know when he's going to be back, but he's been out for so long. We've seen some injuries here and there, but I think this is the first ACL tear, and it's a bad one, because not only is Kristaps Porzingis a great player, but he is a guaranteed superstar, if he isn't already, which I think I probably would consider him a superstar at this point, but he's guaranteed to be one of the top players in the NBA for the next 10 years, and like, he's having an amazing year. He's really coming into his own as an NBA superstar, a guy at his height that can move well, that can shoot the basketball well, that can block a ton of shots, and he made his first All-Star game this year, and just a week before the All-Star game, he gets hurt, and guys on Team LeBron are just getting hurt left and right, but more importantly, this guy's going to miss at least 9 months with this ACL tear. He might not even be back for the beginning of next season, but he certainly isn't going to play another game this season. 2017-18 year, he's done. Very unfortunate. I hate injuries more than anything in basketball, and the same should go for everybody else, because as much as we might hate certain players or hate the fact that certain players did certain things or that certain teams are winning or whatever, I think we can all agree that injuries are rock bottom. It doesn't matter who gets injured. An injury can never be for good reason, pretty much. So, I mean, we can kind of look at the bright side. I think, like, the thing you can take from this is that the Knicks are going to get a much better pick in the draft than they would have. Like, in scenarios like this, we have to look for the positives. And unfortunately for DeMarcus Cousins, when he got injured, there were none. I don't think there were any upsides to him getting injured. I think that him getting injured was absolutely awful in basically every single way. Kristaps Porzingis, yes, it's awful. And the Knicks, he is the Knicks, pretty much. He is their franchise. He will be their franchise for the next 10 years. He's a very important player, and him having injury problems that, might possibly foreshadow the future, that's the worst part of this, because knee issues are no joke, and if a guy's tearing his ACL this young in his career, there's really no telling what's to come of it, how he bounces back. And on top of that, you look at Kristaps Porzingis, and he kind of almost looks like he's too tall, like he can't be real, because he doesn't look like your average human, of course, but big men, it's harder for them to sustain health while they are, acting as such an athletic player. Kristaps Porzingis is a guy that utilizes athleticism very much. People talk about how he's like Dirk, except, more athletic. That's definitely the case. The guy is incredibly athletic for a 7'3" guy, and who knows what type of effect, him using his knees in that way has on his knees. So, you know what? That is one thing that you got to look out for, because knee injuries are some of the most frustrating, some of the most scary injuries in sports, because not only are they almost always, like, when you do something like this, it's severe, but they can reoccur. Now, I was talking about, for a few minutes or seconds there, the bright sides of this. The Knicks are full tank mode right now. They were a team, I think they were like in 10th. Wait, no, Charlotte passed them. So the Knicks, they're in 11th right now. They are 23-32, and with this injury to Kristaps Porzingis, yes, they lose someone who is very, very important to their organization. However, they have a much better chance at getting a good pick, and that's exactly what a team like the Knicks needs. You need another guy. The 2018 draft looks to be a pretty promising one. I mean, you got a bunch of guys in here that could be franchise players, and the Knicks, they're not going to get top 3 or top 5 most likely. I mean, top 5 isn't like an impossible scenario, but right now, sitting in 11th in the Eastern Conference, they are currently the 10th worst team in the NBA record-wise. I think that will definitely drop. I think they will get passed by teams like the Lakers, possibly the Grizzlies, or the Nets, or the Suns. This team could fall a lot. And, you know, when you look at their team at this point, they're trading away Willie Hernangomez. They just did that today, which no one could really make sense out of that, because Willie Hernangomez was a young, semi-promising player that just didn't get enough minutes, and they gave him away for basically nothing. So they gave away him. They still got Enes Kanter, who's having a pretty decent season. Jarrett Jack is you know, he's a veteran point guard, not really doing much. Tim Hardaway Jr. is basically their main guy at this point. You don't have a very strong foundation for a team. And of course, your rookie, Frank Ntilikina, hasn't really shown to be a very good player to this point. There is definitely room for him to be a star in the league or to be a good player in the league, but he hasn't gotten there yet. He's not at the point where his presence dramatically increases their winning chances on a game-by-game basis. But I think, yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible injury. It's awful because it's one of these guys that we are treasuring right now, not only because he's so good, not only because he's like something we've never seen before, but also because of what he will be, or what, you know, if he keeps getting better. He's only in, what is this, like his 3rd year? Yeah, it's his 3rd year, and he's only 22. So, you know, obviously, big name, and huge NBA prospect, out with a devastating injury, of course. But the Knicks, they can take advantage of this, and they can lose as many games as they can, because they don't have that good of a team at all. They're definitely in good shape to tank, and they can get one of these top pieces and add another good player to this team, good young player to build around, because they do need more. If you look at their young talent, they got Frank, they got Kristaps, but besides that, they don't really have enough young pieces to make a really good team, and they could totally use, you know, another guy. So I think that they can make something of this, and Kristaps, he comes back and he plays just as good as he was. He can get back to where he was and continue his development on the right track. There is a possibility the Knicks can actually gain from this injury. They can actually take advantage of it, you know, so that's something they should do. And yeah, I mean, that's gonna do it for this video. Devastating news, terrible thing injuries are, but the Knicks, if they're smart, you know, you can do something with this. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.